Welcome back to another week here on Eye of the Storm, a Guelph Storm podcast with myself, Ryan Droy, the voice of your Guelph Storm on Rogers TV. And I'm very pleased to be joined by another one of the new faces on the team this year, rookie forward Sam Johnston. Sam, how are you, my friend?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing very well. And I'm not sure I'm doing as well as you are. And that's because not only are you a rookie in the OHL, enjoying the early parts of your first season, but you hit a pretty significant career milestone the other day against the Peterborough Petes at home at the Sleeman Centre. You slammed home your first career OHL goal. Walk us through the play. Big shot from the point from Leo Serlin, and you're right there on the doorstep. How did it feel to score your first goal, and what'd you see as the play developed?
Yeah, it was unbelievable. Just kind of a perfect play off the draw. Kind of went through, got a bump of my man, then the puck went up to Singer on the point, and he passed it back to Searles, and it was a perfect shot on net. So yeah, it just popped right out to be in front, and the rest I kind of blacked out. It was a crazy moment. I was so excited. So yeah, it felt really good to get that one off my chest.
Well, we were excited for you. Obviously, we love watching guys score their first career goal. It's a big moment for you and your family, I'm sure. Where is the puck? I know the boys scooped it up for you. Where's the puck? What are you going to do with it?
It's still at the rink right now. They're getting me a frame for it, I'm pretty sure. So try and get it soon.
Tremendous. What are you going to do with it? Are you going to give it to mom and dad? You going to hang it up? What are you going to do with it?
Haven't decided on that one yet. It'll either go in my room or probably to my parents. So yeah, I'm not sure.
Right on. Well, I'm sure that they won't fight you for it, but I'm sure they'd be happy to display it in the living room for sure. I want to talk to you a little bit on the note talking about your parents. Obviously, like I said, you score your first goal, but it all starts this year for you getting drafted by the Guelph Storm. What did it mean to you and your family? Obviously it's been a long hockey journey for you all through minor hockey to get to this point. What do you remember about draft night and hearing that you were going to become a member of the Guelph Storm? What was that like?
It was a crazy day. A lot of emotions, very stressful. I didn't have anyone over, so I was just me and my parents, and we were just watching, and it's obviously a really stressful moment. So we were kind of just watching away. I was pretty quiet, just kind of hoping my name was called. And once it got to that point where I got the phone call, it was amazing. It was an unbelievable feeling. It was nothing I've ever felt before, and yeah, it was definitely super special for all of us.
You're from an area that has a rich junior hockey history, and I'm sure you went to plenty of Bulldogs games over the years when they came back to Hamilton, and originally, of course, as an AHL team, and then they transitioned to the OHL. I'm sure you went to many games, and you'd have been familiar with all the franchises. When you heard that it was Guelph, what kind of went through your mind?
Oh, I was super happy. It was the only tour I had in my draft year. One of the first teams that reached out to me, and I always had such a good feeling from George and from all the coaches I met, and kind of the history there. It was a super cool environment, getting to watch a game, and yeah, super special. And so I was so happy that that was a place I got to go.
I want you to take me back to when you were a little kid and first kind of strapping the skates on. I know you were born in the Waterdown area in the greater Hamilton region. Take us back to when you were a little kid. What was it like growing up there and first starting to learn how to play the game? What are some of your earliest hockey memories?
Yeah, so I learned with my parents on a little pond in Waterdown, and it actually hockey wasn't my number one growing up. My dad was a basketball player, played Canadian basketball, so played a little bit growing up, and never really knew if hockey was going to be my thing. And then got a late spot in my novice year on one of my local teams, and the rest was kind of history. Just kind of made my way up. Eventually made my AAA team, and then yeah, the like I said before, the rest was history.
Well, I'm not surprised to hear that actually, because you've got the size to play ball. You're 6'4", and you're certainly using your size to score that goal in front. And I know Storm fans are going to be excited to see more of that power forward game that you bring. But basketball obviously a big part of your life too. I mean, did you grow up a Raptors fan? And if you had pursued basketball instead, where would you maybe want to end up if you were pursuing that instead?
Yeah, probably the Raptors. I didn't watch too much NBA. My dad's a big college basketball guy, so watched a lot of
Nice.
March Madness and stuff growing up and as a kid. So maybe
Is
yeah,
there
one
a
of those
school
cool.
that sticks out?
He loves Kentucky. Kentucky and Notre
Whoa,
Dame are his two.
there you go.
Oh yeah,
That's, hey
probably one of
man,
them.
you would have fit in really well. But thank God for Storm fans.
Yeah.
You chose hockey instead, and here you are in the Royal City. As you made your way up, once you started playing and started kind of falling in love with the game and wanted to pursue it a little more seriously as you started to grow up. I wonder, outside of your family, obviously, you would have had a big influence on you in your career. Who sticks out in terms of coaches or teammates, significant people from your minor hockey days that you maybe want to shout out and that helped you get here?
Yeah, a lot of my coaches and teammates back in Flamborough, that's where I played double A. Still really good buddies with a lot of them to this day, and they helped me work my way up. I obviously went in there and wasn't the best player, and eventually kind of tried my best to rise to the top and move on to AAA. But just getting to AAA was kind of like the biggest thing for me. It was hard and it took some time too. Um, didn't come right away. So yeah, my teammates and coaches and obviously my parents were super supportive and helped me a lot to get there.
You mentioned, not necessarily being the best kid on the team and kind of growing up and finding your way. You end up being an eighth round pick, and you've kind of put yourself into the same kind of territory as a lot of successful recent members of the Storm. I think about a guy like Braden Bowman, who was not a high round pick that turned into a big time star for the team and ended up wearing the C. As you look at stories like that, particularly on the franchise that you're on now, does that kind of inspire you to continue to move up the ranks and keep proving people wrong, I guess, if you will?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's just a number. That's kind of how I think of it, and it's just a game I love. So I'm just playing and working as hard as I can, and all the rest just kind of comes with it. If it's good, it's good. If it's bad, it's bad. It doesn't feel like a chore for me. It's just a game I love, and I have fun doing it. So so yeah.
Well, you seem like you got a good head on your shoulders for sure, and I was warned before I spoke to you that you're a very humble kid, and you don't like to talk yourself up too much. But we referenced your size earlier. Like you got some muscle to work with out there, and it certainly showed up on your first career goal. Were you always one of the bigger kids on your teams, and when did that kind of power forward game start to develop for you?
Yeah, I was always one of the taller guys in my team since I can remember. I think it was around U15 where I kind of had to drop that uh, highlight tape, good good moves, good dangles, kind of style, and just use my body, use my size, more bumps, get to the net, and play that kind of dirty game that not a lot of guys do nowadays.
So I know that you obviously played in your draft year with the Burlington Eagles U18 program. You did get into a contest for the Cougars as well in the OJ and appeared in a couple games for the Air Centennials as well, which has become kind of a feeder system for the Storm franchise. What do you remember about your draft year and the year that you had overall? Because I mean, like I said, in that U18 season when you're playing with the Eagles, you played in 32 games. You scored 27 times. That's pretty darn good. That's almost a goal a game. What was clicking for you in your draft year?
Yeah, it was just a good group. We had a lot of guys that I'm still friends with today, and yeah, they helped me out. They never got down on me, never really got high on me. We just played hockey, had fun, and yeah, it made it easy, made it fun, and good coaches that made it really easy for us to do as well as we did.
In terms of guys that you maybe watched growing up that you kind of tried to maybe model your game after, particularly your modern game, the way you play now, is there anybody in your mind that kind of sticks out in terms of guys you maybe watch on TV? You said, man, I think I could play like him.
Yeah, I like to watch Matthew Tkachuk and Tage Thompson. Tage Thompson is obviously a big guy and shoots the puck well. He's got good hands and gets to good areas. And Matthew Tkachuk's a guy that people just hate playing against, and that's what I want to try and start doing is just being being someone guys don't like to go out there against and just being tough on other teams.
Well, you've certainly made an impact already, getting your first goal. You've thrown some big hits as well. And obviously, as your game continues to evolve in this league, you're going to start to see more of those increased responsibilities and be out there a little more to pester the other team's top players. And on that note, I wonder, it's kind of a new chapter for a lot of guys, even veterans on the team with a new coaching staff this year, led by Corey Stillman, who's obviously had tons of success as a pro player, multiple Stanley Cups, and in his young coaching career too. What's your relationship been like with Corey and his staff? And, how has that kind of developed through camp up until now?
Oh yeah, it's been awesome. They treat us so professionally, and Corey's been great. He's hard on us, and he helps us get better every day. And the other two, Rob and Scott, have been awesome too. They're all three of them are so easy to approach, and you can always ask them for help or extra video or whatever you need. And yeah, they make it easy for us to put the work in and try to be better every day.
When you found out that you made the team and you were going to be a player for the Storm this year, was there a moment that you kind of look back, one of those kind of I'm in the OHL moments, as they say? Like, were you struck by the moment at any point where you kind of stepped back and said, "Wow, I can't believe I'm here"?
Yeah, it was pretty I was pretty speechless. It was a really special moment to get that call, and yeah, it was something I'll never forget. I honestly don't really have any of those moments where I really remember because again, I kind of just blacked out. I was so happy and excited to get started here.
Obviously, you grew up in an area not super far from the Royal City. Have your parents been able to come down to any games yet? Have they been in the building?
Yeah, they try and get to everyone they can. So yeah, they haven't missed a lot of games yet.
I assume that they were there against Peterborough when the first goal went in.
Yeah, they were super pumped.
I'm sure that was a fun meeting after the game. I actually think I might have seen you on my way to the arena chatting with the family.
Yeah, yeah. They were super excited.
That's tremendous, man. Well, congratulations. I want to dig into a little bit of your life in the OHL. Take us through a typical day because we all kind of know what happens on game day. Guys, maybe they like to have a nap, they go out, get a coffee before they come to the rink. But on an off day, when maybe there's a practice or you've got a session with the coaches, take us through a typical day and what's different about being in the OHL on those days compared to playing minor hockey.
Yeah, so I'm still in high school. I'm finishing up grade 12. So we go to school every day and we have three classes and then leave around 1:30 and go straight to the rink for practice. Um, Usually skate just over an hour maybe. And then work out some days obviously too, before or after. And a lot of recovery and stuff after practice and ice baths and massages and all that. So taking care of our bodies and we're out of the rink usually 5:15, 5:30 every day and come back to our billets, have a nice cooked meal and yeah, that's a typical day.
There you go. It's good to hear. And I'm curious too, the routine is something that's big with hockey players. And, I've talked to all your teammates. I like to kind of ask everybody, how superstitious they are maybe or set in their ways. Do you have like game day routines that you have to do before games, or are you kind of a more of a fly by night kind of guy?
Yeah, I have a couple that are I'm not too like strict on them. Like if I it's kind of if I miss them, I miss them, but it's just kind of something I naturally do. So obviously I take my stick for every game. Try and like to do it as soon as I get there, get it over with. And then when I'm getting dressed I always find I put my left side of my equipment on before my right side. So it's kind of a weird one I have, but it just kind of comes naturally.
That's a common one though. Like, Gretzky did that. Like, I think a lot of guys do the one side or the other first. I don't think that one's that strange. And the stick, guys can be real particular about their equipment. You like to get your stick taped up. What kind of style are we rocking with here? Are you full toe? Do you have a little toe showing at the end? Are you heel to toe first? How do you like to do it?
Yeah, I go heel to toe, always white tape, and I always cover the toe. So I always do a full blade. Nothing really showing. Kind of cover the heel a little bit too. So I always go full blade.
There you go. I know that there were guys back in the day that used to tell us this. Do you ever do that thing where you run electrical tape along the bottom of your blades so that it keeps it from splitting?
No, I haven't tried that actually.
Yeah, that was a tip given to me and a few other people that I heard from guys across varying playing levels, where you just take a piece of electrical tape right along the bottom and then tape over that, and it's
That's
supposed to
smart.
keep your blade from splitting. I
That's
don't
smart.
know.
Yeah,
You'll have to try it out and tell me, because I'm not playing hockey at
yeah.
a high
Yeah.
level like you, so I'm in no danger of ruining any sticks, I
Yeah,
don't
I'll
think.
try it for you. Yeah.
Absolutely. Let me know how it goes.
Okay.
I'm curious as well, just about, your routine on the road. Obviously you've had a couple road trips already, not huge ones yet. I'm sure you'll be making your way up to the Sioux and Sudbury, some of the longer ones in the league at some point. But when you're on the bus, throughout your hockey career, going to tournaments, whatever it may be, are you, a card player? Do you read? Do you just kind of zone out to music? What's your routine like on a road trip?
Yeah, I'm kind of just a music and nap kind of guy. I always try and bring my pillow and just kind of sleep as much as I can without sleeping the whole way, because then obviously you're kind of tired getting off the bus. So I eat my meals usually on the bus and then try and get a little nap and then wake up and just kind of chill and talk to the boys a bit.
Pre-game meals, that's a big thing with hockey players too. Do you got any particular favorites that you lean on?
Yeah, I'm just kind of boring, just chicken, rice, or pasta, or some veggies, broccoli, carrots, something like that. Yeah, kind of boring, but that's what I do.
Hey man, hey, it works. You're a goal scorer in the OHL, man. It's working for you. Keep on doing this stuff. Um, we've talked, and I've had all three of your coaching staff on so far on the show this season as well. I love chat. I'm a big music guy. Love chatting about music with the guys. Your assistant coaches. I've heard that Rob, in particular, your assistant coach Rob Davison, has a very unique taste in music. Scott Simmons was telling me that when they're in the coaches' room, he'll jump from like Celine Dion to Metallica. He's all over the place, which is very interesting. Now, I know about your locker room from talking to guys last year. It's a big country room. It's a
Yeah.
really big country room. Do you fall into that category? And if so, is there anything else that you like to listen to? Maybe get pumped up before a game?
Yeah, I'm a big country guy, but before game, I'm usually just rap.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. What are we throwing on to get fired up?
I like a lot of Drake. He's probably my favorite right now. Yeah.
What did you think about the beef that he had, the feud that
It
took over the
was
storylines?
yeah, it was pretty cool to follow. It was pretty entertaining and so you got some new music out of it too. So
Yeah, it was interesting. That was with Kendrick, wasn't it? It was him
yeah,
and Kendrick Lamar. What
Kendrick
an
Lamar.
odd yeah, and those two guys don't strike me as dudes that would have like a big beef or something. They're both pretty chill. I don't know what
Yeah.
happened there. What the hell
Yeah.
happened?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I wonder as well, and I've gotten some interesting answers asking your teammates this. Since you're, big on Drake, which I think he's got a number of songs that would be cool for this. If they let you pick a custom goal song, which hopefully we would hear a lot more over the next few months, if they let you pick one, does a song jump out at you? What would you pick?
I was always a Blackhawks fan growing up, so I'd probably pick Chelsea Dagger.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Interesting. Chelsea dagger. Yeah. Well, I hope there's no Canucks fans that are coming to the Sleeman Center. I think they've heard enough of Chelsea dagger over the years. It's
Yeah.
a good one, man. It's a good song. They get you fired up for it. That's for sure. I also wonder about the equipment you're using this year. What kind of skates, what kind of stick, and why?
Always been Bauer skates, so I'm wearing the Hyperlight 2s right now, and I love them. They're awesome. And then I've always been, well, not always actually, but for the past couple of years, I've been using CCM sticks. So
There
I'm
you
using
go.
the Trigger 9 Pros right now, and I love them too. It's a great stick.
What kind of setup are we talking? What kind of flex? What kind of curve do you like?
I use an 85 flex, and I use a P90 curve with a max blade.
There you go.
Yeah,
Okay, you got to sweep those rebounds in.
yeah,
You got to you
yeah,
got to reach those rebounds. I like
yeah,
it. And if you get any bigger, which I'm sure you're going to put some more muscle on over the next couple of years, you might have to switch to 100 flex.
yeah,
85 might not hold
yeah,
on
yeah.
for you.
Totally.
I'm just always interested in what guys use. Also, too, I've noticed a lot of different setups on your team. Some guys have no knob at all. Some guys have a great big one. Some guys like to do the finger twine. What do you prefer up at the top of your stick in terms of the way you're able to grip it?
Yeah, I'm not too picky with mine. I just kind of split it at the top and go over a few times, kind of make it thick at the top, and then I just go over with stick tape after and put a little grip tape on, and that's pretty much it.
Obviously, having grown up, around the Hamilton region, like I said, the Bulldogs were kind of a big deal in the city for a long time. And now we're hearing rumors that hockey might be returning when the arena renovations are finished. How often did you get over to games over there? And are there any players from, maybe even the AHL days that you remember watching growing up that kind of inspired you along the way?
Yeah, I didn't go to too many growing up, but in the past couple of years before I was drafted and stuff, I got out to quite a few. I always think about it, it's pretty crazy that playing in the same league now that I got to go watch those guys. But the one that I really remember is watching McTavish and all those guys on that team and Jack. I was there when they won the OHL championship with a couple of my friends. So yeah, it was a pretty cool place to go watch games.
Yeah, and that was a rough and tumble team, man. They were entertaining. The city
Yeah.
kind of, yeah, the Hammer is exactly what it sounds like. It's a gritty working class city, man, and
Yeah.
they appreciate when guys get the shovels out, if you will, and
Yeah.
they really attach themselves to that. And I wonder that as well, just about growing up in that area. Hamiltonians are very proud people. They kind of scoff at being looked down at as the Toronto's little brother, the Tie Cats and the Argos rivalry there. Did you ever make it out to any of those games? And what's your take on the kind of quiet rivalry, if you will, between Hamilton and Toronto?
Yeah, I don't really follow the CFL too much, but I've been to a couple Ticats games when I was really younger. But it's pretty cool to see that rivalry them and the Argos have.
Yeah, it's entertaining, and the cities they're friendly, but it's a friendly rivalry. It's not aggressive, but it's there. It exists. I also wonder too, just about going forward, if you have any goals, like you find out you make the team. Do you set personal goals for yourself at all when you go into a season? This one in particular being your first in the league. Like, do you sit back and say, I would like to achieve X? Like, do you have any personal goals that you set up for yourself?
Yeah, I try not to really make any expectations. I just kind of want to be the best I can every single night, every practice, every game. Just get better, learn a lot, and hopefully go in better next year too.
You've been able to spend some time in Guelph over the last couple months here, settling in with your billet family and getting used to the team and operating as an OHLer. Have you been able to explore the city much? I love Guelph. I grew up around it my whole life. It's a great city and it's got a great hockey culture. The Storm fans are some of the best across the CHL. What's been special about being in the city and have you been able to experience much of it yet?
Yeah, I've been around the city quite a bit now, whether it's just driving with the boys or going out to eat or whatever. But yeah, it's obviously it's really special. It's a cool city and big hockey town too, and everyone kind of knows everyone. So you're kind of known around the town, and yeah, it's super special. It's a really fun place to be.
Obviously, the team, they haven't named a captain yet, but you've got a really great leadership group there. You know, when you first showed up in camp, who are some guys right away that kind of stuck out to you that maybe took you under their wing and led the way, so to speak, when you were first entering your very first OHL camp?
Yeah, all the guys were really good. A bunch of the older guys, Allen, Carabella, McGuire, Paquette. All those older guys were awesome, and obviously those aren't the only ones, but it's a really tight group we have, and it's like it's already been like a family, and it hasn't even been that long, and everyone's there for everyone. Everyone picks everyone up, and so yeah, it was super easy to kind of make that adjustment and come to that new team.
I want to ask you finally as well, you know, you're early on in your OHL career. You've got your first goal under your belt. The team is playing well so far, learning that new system under head coach Corey Stillman. What's so special about being an OHL player? It's a great league. Everybody knows that, and it's been around forever. One of the best development leagues in the world, if not the best, in my opinion. But as a player, a guy who's brand new to the scene, what is so special about being an OHLer, Sam?
Probably just the level of professionalism. It's pretty cool. It's unmatched. Coming to games and seeing all those great fans out there, having a packed rink every night, and even just the little things like getting all your equipment and great equipment managers like we have in Guelph and that take care of you and look after all your stuff and help you with it, whatever you need. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's great stuff, and it's a lot of fun to be around the rink. It's been fun to be around you guys so far this year, and we're excited to see where the rest of the season heads. And I wish you nothing but more success. Congrats on goal number one. It was fun to be in the building for and call it for you. Hope I did a good job for you and the
Yeah,
family. You're gonna
yeah, it
want to
was
remember
great.
that one.
It was
Good
great. Thank
stuff.
you.
Good, man. Good to hear. And we're looking forward to a lot more success from you, my friend. Thank you so much for doing this. Really, really appreciate it, Sam.
Yeah, thank you. It was awesome.
All right, everybody, remember, you can find this podcast on the Guelph Storm website and all your favorite podcast apps. And if you want to come down to the Sleeman Centre, and you should, to watch Sam Johnston and the Guelph Storm this year, go get tickets on the Guelph Storm website or head to the box office at the Sleeman Centre. We'll be back next week with more Eye of the Storm.